Okay, there we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So we're continuing with our operations, continuing on with our review, operations with fractions. Remember, you have your diagnostic test tomorrow. So, all right, let's see if I can actually get the date correct here. Hey, not bad. I can actually, right, not too bad with this mouse. February 1st, 2015. So, remember, there are three kinds of fractions. There's a proper fraction, which means that the numerator, remember, proper terminology, numerator is less than the denominator, with the example of 2 over 3. The improper fraction is where we have a numerator greater than a denominator, so numerator 11 is greater than 3, and a mixed fraction is made up of a whole number and a fraction. Now, if we want to change, though, from a mixed number to an improper fraction, because when we're adding, subtracting, doing operations, we can't use mixed numbers. We want to use improper or proper fractions. So for the first example here, I have convert to an improper fraction 4 2/5. So to do this change, you don't have to do it as I've got it listed here, but you can simply put like a times here and a plus here. So the denominator times the whole number, add the numerator, and when you end up getting here is 4 times 5 plus 2, and you keep the denominator of 5. So 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is 22 over 5. Next, we want to convert to a mixed number. Now, with converting to a mixed number, you have to figure out, like how many times does 4 go into 17? Well, in this case, 4 goes into 17 4 times because 4 times 4 is 16. 17 minus 16 is 1, hence why you're able to get 4 1/4, right? Because if you did long division like this, so 4 goes like that, 17 minus 16 is 1. That there is the denominator. This is the whole number, and the 1 is your remainder up there. Okay, that's how it works. LCD, or lowest common denominator is the lowest common multiple of the denominators of two or more fractions. So in this case, multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on. So we want to find the LCD of 1/6 and 1/8. The multiples of 8, however, are 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. So the lowest number that they have in common is 24, so therefore the LCD is 24. Some of you might have used a trick where you take these two denominators and simply multiply them together. You would find that if you take the product of two or more denominators and you're trying to find a common denominator, you can simply multiply those numbers together. However, in this case, it would not be the lowest common denominator, so it is in your best interest that you know mental math and you're able to break down numbers and how they multiply up. So to add and subtract fractions, we have these steps that you have on your sheet, and what we're going to do here is we want to simplify 3/8 and minus 1/6. In this case, the LCD between 8 and 6, well, we already worked it out, it's 24. So we want to multiply both the numerator and denominator of this fraction by 3 and multiply the numerator and denominator of this fraction by 4. So 8 times 3 is 24, 3 times 3 is 9, 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 4 is 4, which means you get 9 over 24 minus 4 over 24, which simply gives you 5 over 24. You can only add and subtract fractions if you have the same denominator. So this one, 5 6 plus 2 1/2. Well, following the steps, we must convert any mixed fraction to an improper fraction. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5 6 plus 5 halves. Now I need to have a common denominator between 6 and 2, which in this case, would be, well, the LCD would be, well, 6, because the multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, while the multiples of 6 are just 6, 12, 18. So therefore, the LCD would be 6. So I'm going to multiply then this denominator then by 3, which means I must, whatever I do to the denominator, I must do to the numerator. So 3 times 3 is 6, 5 times 3 is 15. I can keep this one here the same, 5 over 6. So now that I have a common denominator, I'm allowed to add numerators. So 5 plus 15 is 20, 20 over 6. However, I always want fractions in lowest terms. Therefore, I need to find out what common factors there are between 20 and 6. In this case, it's 3, or excuse me, common factors are 2. So I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 2, which gives me 10 thirds. And I always convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction. Therefore, what I get is 3 and 1/3, because 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 divides into 10 3 times. So 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. So the following pieces are as follows. Here is your numerator. This is your denominator. And this whole number here, this goes there. Okay. Multiplying fractions, as you know, you multiply the numerators together and you multiply denominators together. But what I want you to do is I want you to see if there's anything called cross canceling. Cross canceling is where if you have a factor in the numerator, or excuse me, if there are common factors in the numerator and denominator, you can cancel them out. So what we can do is, in this case, if there are any factors between any denominators here with any numerators up here, we can cancel and reduce. In this case, 3 and 9 are common, have common factors of 3. And 4 and 8 have common factors of 4. So 4 goes into 4 one time, and 8 goes into 4 two times. 3 and 9 have common factors of 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So what you now have, instead of 8 over 9 times 3 over 4, you now have 2 over 3 times 1 over 1, which is 2/3. Why do we do this? Because we're trying to save ourselves some steps. Also, I am going to be looking for this when we do our quizzes and tests. Okay, you should be able to cross cancel. You should be able to identify factors between fractions. Okay. Finally, when dividing fractions, we know that we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. In this case, this 6 over 7, we're going to have some work to do. But first, this 3/2 we must change to an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply the denominator with the whole number, add it to the numerator. So we get 7 over 2 divided by 6 over 7. Then multiply by the reciprocal. So 7 over 2 stays the same. Now 7 over 6. We end up getting here is 49 over 12. There are no common factors between 49 and 12. Because the factors of 49 are 1, 7, and 49, whereas the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So therefore, the fraction that we're left with is 4 and 1/12, because 12 goes into 49 4 times, and 12 times 48 is 12 times 4 is 48. The 1 is your remainder, the 4 is the whole number, and the 12 is still your denominator. Period. Another kind of question you could face is algebra, where you're subbing in with fractions. Therefore, what we have here is, in this case, if a is 1/2, b is 2/3, c is 1 2/3, what happens if you take a plus b and divide it by 2 times c? Well, we've subbed in the values for the given variables. In this case, a plus b, well, that's just 1/2 plus 2/3, all divided by 2 times c, which in this case is 2 times 1 2/3. Now, what I've decided to do is I want to fix the denominator here. I need to change this into an improper fraction. So what I get here in this case, oh, sorry, my eraser's not working. I changed it to an improper fraction by taking 3 times 1, which is 3, plus 2 is 5, so that's 5/3. Now, the 2, a whole number 2, is divided by 1 because every whole number is divided by 1 because it's redundant. Every number is divided by 1, but we just don't bother writing it because, well, it's just pointless. So there's the denominator. As for the numerator, well, we need to find the LCD between 2 and 3, which in this case is 6. So the LCD between 2 and 3 is 6. So I multiply this denominator by 3, multiply the numerator by 3, multiply this denominator by 2, multiply this numerator by 2. So 3 6 plus 4 6. Next, 3 6 plus 4 6 is 7 6 divided by, well, 2 times 5 is 10 and 1 times 3 is 3, so I get 10 thirds. Now I have a fraction dividing a fraction, so I need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3 tenths. When I do that, I notice that I have right here factors that I can divide away between 3 and 6. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 3 divided by 1 is 3. 3 divided by 1, 3 divided, excuse me, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So what I'm left here with is 7 over 2 times 1/10, which is just simply 7 over 20. You do not need to go 7 times, you don't need to rewrite the fraction. You just go, 7 times 1 is 7, and it's 2 times 10 is 20. We do this, again, we do this because we don't want to add extra steps of reducing and trying to, that's how we make mistakes. So it's much easier just to reduce for multiplication and then we get an answer. All right, now you have your worksheet. I want you to work on that. And again, remember, tomorrow is your diagnostic. So you can ask me questions just beforehand for a little bit. The diagnostic should take most of the period. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.